What would you do with the money?
I would hire a private investigator to help me find my daughter Mallory. We got separated on a fishing trip quite a few years ago now, and I spent all my time and my resources finding her, going from city to city, but she's always moved on. So, yeah, a private investigator could be life-changing for me.
What would you do with the money?
Pharmaceutical companies test drugs on puppies and other small animals all the time, then just abandon them when they're done. Someone needs to do something about it. If I win, I plan on using the money to open a rehab center so I can help those poor puppies recover and live normal lives.
What would you do with the money?
Well, I've been working on a film for several years. It's kind of like my main baby when it comes to screenwriting, but I haven't had the capital to produce it. It's a superhero film, but get this. In most superhero movies, someone gets powers. They either become the good guy or the bad guy. What if they just still remain a guy and they don't use the powers? Maybe they're like, they try them out, but then they're like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to my regular life. And it's a superhero film that turns into just a slice of life normal guy film because he doesn't use them. And then at the end, when you think he's like, oh, he's about to save the day, the powers get reversed and he loses them.
What's the most serious law you've ever broken?
International piracy law. When I was lost at sea one time, I thought all was lost. But a pirate ship came by and actually rescued me. Now, you've heard bad things about pirates, and so had I, but they could not have been nicer. They gave me a job to do on ships so that I could earn my keep when I was there, and everything was going great until they got superstitious. They are superstitious, so they thought for some reason it might be bad luck that I was on board with them. So they were just about to drop me off when we got raided by a Russian Navy ship who put us all in a Russian jail for 5 years for piracy.
What's the most serious law you've ever broken?
I would say the most serious law I've ever broken is sneaking into a movie. So in 2015, Star Wars The Force Awakens was coming out, and there was an advanced sneak preview screening beforehand. And it was invite only. So I figured out a way around that since I wasn't invited, but I did want to see it. I'm not going to tell you what theater it was or what theater chain because I do not want to get a phone call from their attorneys. But the night before this advanced screening, I went to a movie at that theater, and then I stayed in the theater all night long. I hid in the bathroom, slept there, and then the next day, I was in the theater for the screening. And there were a couple of seats open. It wasn't completely full. So I got into the sneak preview. I saw The Force Awakens early. I'm not proud of it. It's probably a big felony, but I would do it again.
What is the most serious law you have ever broken?
I smoked a lot of weed in states where it wasn't legal yet. I guess I've technically sold it too, which would be a more serious crime. I was never a drug dealer, but if I bought a bunch and then some of my friends bought off of me, I guess that's technically selling drugs, even if I'm not charging them a markup. In terms of legal penalties, that would be the most serious. The penalties for drug-related charges are ridiculous in this country.
What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
Walking naked through the woods. I'm much more comfortable around trees and flowers than I am around people.
What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
Yeah, my most embarrassing guilty pleasure. I like to go back and rewatch the cartoons from my childhood. I don't do it all the time, but when I think of one and I haven't seen it in a while, I'll look it up, I'll see where it's streaming or where I can find it, and then I will watch the crap out of it from front to back and relive my childhood a little bit. Maybe take out some of my old action figures. Yeah, that is an embarrassing guilty pleasure.
What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
I love window shopping at those really fancy stores that only rich people shop at. Like Walmart, I go and I look and I think, oh, if I was wealthy, I could have that and that and that. It would be so glamorous if I could really afford to buy things there, but, you know, who can?
What is the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
Well, I try not to betray friends, but okay. I spoiled Avengers Infinity War for several of my friends and coworkers. So, opening night, I saw it twice. I got my tickets in advance for 2 showings right in a row, back to back. I was at the theater for like 6 hours just downloading Infinity War, and it was awesome. But I'm like, okay, Friday, maybe people haven't seen it yet. Over the weekend, I saw it 2 more times. I go into work Monday. I assume that everyone has seen it. It's a phenomenon. It's like the movie grossed like $2 billion. I don't know how much everyone saw it. I assume they all saw it opening weekend. And I started going on about the people we lost, the Avengers we lost, the snap. I really spoiled that movie for a lot of people. I had a lot of apologizing to do that day. And if you're watching, let me just say once again, I am so sorry. I promise you, I am now keeping it spoiler free.
What's the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
I gave a lot of my friends chlamydia. In fairness, some of them probably had it already. We're all very open about our sexuality. That's just the type of people I vibe with.
What is the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
Well, that would be my friend Emily from high school. We were paired together for a science project, and she looked after this egg that we were given for the first week, and I was to look after it for the second week. And I did it great. The egg was perfect, and I was carrying it into school on the last day of the project to give to Emily to hand to the teacher. I got chased by a coyote, and of course I dropped the egg, and then the coyote ate the egg, and I just thought, I can't let Emily down. Like, I don't want to betray my friend and disappoint her. And I remembered, though, that I had seen a bird's nest on the way to school a few days before, so I went back, and sure enough, there's an egg in the bird's nest. It was maybe like a slightly bluer shade of grey than the egg we'd be given, but I thought, nobody's going to notice. So I took it into school, handed it to Emily. She was just about to give it to the teacher, and a red-tailed hawk flew in the window and violently attacked Emily for touching her baby's egg. And so not only did we not get an A, Emily was in intensive care for 3 weeks, and things were never the same with us again.
What is your most controversial or unpopular opinion?
Okay. Well, my most controversial / unpopular opinion, a lot of people say that it's pretty bogus that Superman just puts on a pair of glasses and he becomes Clark Kent and no one knows who he is. No one can recognize him. I actually think that checks out. See, I've thought about this a lot. Now, if there's this hero and then you see someone who's kind of your normal neighbor, you wouldn't associate that. Like, your mind wouldn't go there. So, like, here's an example. Let's say you have a neighbor who looks exactly like Barack Obama, but his hair is a little different, and he wears glasses, and he's got a normal job. Let's say he works at a gas station, and you wouldn't say, my neighbor, James, who works at the gas station, has glasses, is ex-president of the United States, Barack Obama. You'd say, oh, that guy kind of looks like Barack Obama, but it's not Barack Obama. Same thing. You wouldn't say, oh, Clark, who is a cub reporter for the Daily Planet, he can't be Superman. He's a bumbling goof. He slightly looks like Superman. Remember, Clark is like uncoordinated. Clark is like, bad at life. Superman is the best. So you would not make that leap. I think it would totally work. Unpopular opinion, and I stand by it.
What is your most controversial or unpopular opinion?
Owning pets is wrong and should be illegal. If your dog or cat isn't free to come and go as they please, they're not your pet, they're your prisoner.
What is your most controversial or unpopular opinion?
Most people think you need milk to eat cereal. I completely disagree. It's so extortionate. The prices of milk nowadays, I mean, no way. I just use water and it's delicious. I love my cereal with water when I can find cereal.
That's the end of this round. We'll soon find out who will be going home after this message from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter K. Now it's time for the audience to vote. Please enter the selection of the contestant you think should be going home. The votes are in. The audience has voted to send home Sam.
You know, coming in, I knew I had a 1 in 6 chance. Not a bad chance, but not perfect. So I'm not surprised I have to go home.